should you diversify and internationalize at the same time? Earlier this week, Siemens acquired Restaurant, a US company producing equipment for the oil and gas company. Now, this acquisition gave Siemens additional exposure in terms of internationalization, because this was a US company, and it further increased their level of diversification because this was additional business in the oil equipment industry where they have previously not been so active. Now, this is fairly typically, but there's also been a lot of research suggesting that companies should really do one or the other because it's too complicated to do two things at the same time. I've done some research together with Michael Meyer from the University of Bath and Julia Hautz from the University of Innsbruck, where we looked at US companies and European companies, and we built massive data sets to test whether companies should do this at the same time or whether they should opt for one or the other. So if you look here on an axis, you could see internationalization on one of them and diversification on the other one. Now, in one continent, this was a positive relationship. That means really companies do both at the same time. In the other continent, this was actually a negative relationship, i.e. a trade-off. So companies either diversified or internationalized at any given point in time. Now, what do you think would be the US and what would be Europe? Is it that maybe US companies are particularly good in diversifying so they can easily also internationalize? Is it that US companies have stronger financial backing? As it turns out, this here happens to be Europe and this here happens to be the US. And the reason behind that is the type of experience that the companies have. Europe, if you are a company in Europe, you have considerably smaller markets. So at an earlier stage in your evolution, you'll be forced to either go into a new market or go into a new country. And by doing so, you develop some expertise in doing this. So European companies are more likely to have some expertise in diversification and internationalization. And as a result of that, they can do both things at the same time. American companies, on average, tend to have less experience because they're in a very large market where they can stay within a particular business for a much longer point in time. Now, interestingly enough, if we look at US companies with a lot of experience, then again they look like the European companies. So it's really down to your experience. If you have experience, I'd suggest yes, you can internationalize and diversify at the same time. If you don't have experience, it's better if you do one or the other.